Hola, Matthew here from with this month's property market report for the Costa Tropical. Here with Amy.
Hello.
The other director or partner in the business. So lots of new things going on this month in the area.
Always.
What keeps us busy.
Yeah.
So tell us. I mean, the massive thing that's been ongoing is tourist licences.
Yeah,
but some
definitely.
big updates this month on that.
Yeah, it definitely is an ongoing topic, and we are now starting to kind of see the results, I would say, of what's been brewing for a really long time. And the most recent news that we have there is that in the Granada province, over 1,000 tourist licenses have now been revoked or cancelled. So it's not just all been, chat and, no, all bark and no bite.
No.
The bite has come.
The bite is starting. We've seen it in Malaga with tourist license being cancelled. Started with Granada City not issuing any new ones, and now over 1,000 have been revoked.
Absolutely.
This is certainly not going away and is gathering momentum now, isn't it?
Absolutely. And then we look up in Barcelona where they've already said that past a certain date they're going to be cancelling everything. So it's something that it's not just in Andalucia, it's not just in one certain part of Spain. This is Spain as a whole. They're starting to act upon this new law, and from the 3rd of April, you're not going to be able to transfer those licences. So.
No, this is a big thing, isn't it? I mean, we've had some interesting chats with local lawyers who just don't know the rules on this yet.
No, absolutely not. And there's quite a lot of changes, and you have to keep up to date with that. And it seems that some people just aren't.
Don't, yeah. So definitely with that change in particular about the transfer of tourist licences, if anyone's looking to sell a property with a tourist licence or buy a property with a tourist licence, really, really important to get in touch with us and get the proper advice on what's really happening with that. Yeah,
absolutely. We're always really happy. I've had many chats actually recently with people that have got in touch with us to get some free information, so we're always really happy to do that.
Great. Thank you, Amy. One of the other things that's been kind of top of the news this month has been the increase in foreign investment in Andalucia, with Andalucia making up kind of 20% of the national property market. It does have a big influence, and we're seeing some big changes in where buyers are coming from at the moment. Absolutely,
it's been a very interesting change that we've been seeing. Obviously, those kind of traditional, I'll say, nationalities are still there within Andalusia, and especially along the Costa Tropical. That's very much still present. So we've still got all of those Belgian, Northern European buyers, but we have seen a very interesting influx in American buyers too, and also kind of more Romanian and kind of more of that kind of Eastern Bloc are definitely starting to buy in the area too. So it has definitely been a change so far in 2025, which has been interesting to see. Yeah.
And I know with the American buyers in particular, because of the way real estate works there, unlike in Andalusia where it's completely unregulated, they're used to very strict regulations around real estate. So they're looking particularly for registered realtors.
Oh, absolutely. They want somebody that's registered with Realtor, registered with the NAR. They want a certain code of ethics. They want a certain quality of service. And the majority of them, if you are not registered, they just don't want to buy with you. I've got a couple of retained clients at the moment that have come to us specifically and said, look, the properties might be with somebody else, but we want to buy through you because we know that you're somebody that's upholding this code of ethics. We know we can trust you, so we're just going to buy through you. We don't want to talk to anybody else. So it's definitely something to think about for sellers, considering this change in the market. If you think your property might be for an American buyer, that's something to take note of.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a big part of the market that you'd be missing if you're not working with an agent who's registered.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Now, the grand old subject of Okupas.
Oh, Okupas. the ongoing nightmare in Spain that never seems to end. Or maybe it will.
Or maybe it will.
Or maybe it will. Okupas, the law in Spain goes so heavily against the landlord and has for such a really long time. But I think there's been some really interesting changes recently. I think it was up in Barcelona.
Yeah, the provincial court of Barcelona made a ruling, effectively a new ruling, that said that the owner of a property that has Okupas under specific circumstances, but generally, the ones that have just broken in and living there rather than not paid their rent, for example, you can now turn off all the main services, turn off the electric, the water, whereas before that was strangely illegal to turn off the services.
Yeah, it just goes so heavily against landlords, but it's really nice to see that change might be starting to happen.
Definitely.
And that other places in Spain, in Andalucia, in Granada, in the Costa Tropical might start to now emulate and use that as a case study when these kind of cases come to court. Because it is crazy that, you know, somebody, because they have no other residence in Spain, has more right to live in your property than you do if it's a second property for you. It just doesn't make any sense. And of course, it's something that's been unfair and something quite feared in Spain, I think, for a while. Luckily, in our area, it doesn't tend to be something that we come across too
not a major
frequently
issue,
in the area of the Costa Tropical. But I know that there are. I mean, if you go along into Malaga, I know it can be a serious problem there.
And of course, if they're getting moved out of those areas, they may well work this way.
They may well do. So hopefully this sets a new precedent.
Fingers crossed. We'll keep everyone up to date on the progress of that. So, that's kind of the big stories. But what is happening that's really important for people in the Costa Tropical?
Well, there's always plenty happening on the Costa Tropical, and we've touched, I think, in our last few reports about the increase in building and the infrastructure that's going to be happening there. So I think it's probably a fairly apt that we continue kind of talking a little bit about that. And I think the big one recently that's now being talked about a lot and has been approved is that there's a large amount of finance that's being put into irrigation coming off of the Rules Dam, which, for anybody that doesn't know, that's the big reservoir and dam that is just above Motril and Vélez. It's around Vélez de Benodalla, and that means that it's been years that all of the kind of the agricultural community and residential community down on the coast have been pushing to be able to have access to use that water. And now they've had about 80 million euros approved that's going to be put into creating infrastructure so that water can be channeled. For agricultural uses and for residential uses, which should make a very interesting change combined with everything that's already starting in that area. Water's so important.
Absolutely, yeah.
Water's so important. So having that extra water and the infrastructure to get it, it's not just going to be for Motril, it's going to be for Almuñeca, for Salobreña as well. So it will be affecting a large portion of the Costa Tropical. I'm sure the works will take their time to be completed, but it's definitely a really positive move in the right direction and something that people have been pushing for years to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Is finally going to start.
Well, and with all the rain that we had in March, actually, some of the reservoirs are actually full. Well, not full, but filled up a lot.
Significantly better than they were this time last year.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So that's great. Well, thank you, Amy, for those updates.
No problem at all.
And for anyone who would like to know the statistics, what's happening in Costa Tropical, the facts and figures, don't hesitate to look out for our new stats show that's coming very soon. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe below. And if you have any questions at all that you would like answered about your local property market, just get in touch. We're happy to help. Thanks,
Thank you
Amy.
very much.
Bye for now.
Adios.